Guys, and welcome back to the channel, and on this video we're going to be looking at the brand new Brooks Ghost Max. And guys, I've got to say, Brooks has done a good job with the Ghost Max, and it is certified climate neutral. Let's get into it. My friends, this video is a collaboration with Roadrunner Sports. Roadrunner Sports was good enough to send me the Brooks Ghost Max for the purpose of review. However, they're not going to get a chance to see this video before you do on YouTube. So let's get started with price. Now, the Brooks Ghost Max will cost you $150. And I also want to say that this is not going to be a comparison video between the Brooks Ghost 15, which now is their normal Ghost, and this is the Max. Although I will be pulling it out to make some comparisons in case you are torn between the two. Because I have run in the Brooks Ghost 13, 14, and 15, and I've always thought they were pretty adept daily trainers. But now I can say that the Brooks Ghost Max is my favorite yet, and I'll tell you why. Well, let's get started off with the stack height. We now have 39 millimeters of stack in the heel, 33 in the forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop. And if I'm honest, I think that is the reason I like this shoe more than the regular Ghost. I much prefer that 6 millimeter drop. Now the Brooks Ghost 15, which I happen to have right here, has 35 in the heel, 23 in the forefoot for a 12 millimeter drop. And if I had to tell you the #1 complaint that I get on my videos of the Brooks Ghost 15, it's that people don't want a 12 millimeter drop. Now look, there's nothing wrong with a 12 millimeter drop, nothing at all. Having a 12 millimeter drop is a very comfortable shoe to run in, and it works for a ton of people. I mean, there is a reason that the Brooks Ghost is Brooks' most popular line of running shoes. But I gotta say that a lot of people say that they would buy the Ghost, but they don't want a 12 millimeter drop. So maybe that's just my audience, maybe that's how people feel in general. Either way, the Brooks Ghost Max is going to appeal to those people because you get all the goodness, all the comfort of the Brooks Ghost, but Max with a lower drop. Oh, and just in case you were wondering, the regular Brooks Ghost, the 15, costs $140, and again, the Brooks Ghost Max costs $150. Now let's talk about weight. Now Brooks claims that in a US men's size 9, the Ghost Max will tip the scale at 10 ounces or 283 grams. That is actually 3 grams lighter than the Ghost 15, which is pretty impressive because we have a much bigger slab of midsole foam. However, I don't wear a US men's size 9, I wear a US men's size 13, and in my size, the Ghost Max tips the scale at 12.2 ounces or 347 grams. And in comparison to the Brooks Ghost 15, my Brooks Ghost Max is actually 7 grams heavier than the Brooks Ghost 15. So it's lighter in the sample size, it is heavier in my size. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. 7 grams isn't that much. And I will say this, the Brooks Ghost Max feels a lot better on my foot than the Ghost 15. And there's a few reasons for that, and we'll get into that when we talk about the ride. But as usual, let's start at the top, let's work our way down. When I hold it up, guys, typical daily trainer, lots of padding, lots of plush cushioning. If there is one thing that the Ghost series is known for, and that is comfort. And the Ghost Max is insanely comfortable. Now I think the reason that the Ghost is Brooks' most popular running shoe is because it is so comfortable, but it also works for a wide range of activities. Yes, this is a running shoe. It is ideally suited for easy runs, recovery runs, but if you wanted to wear the Ghost Max for just walking around or everyday use, I think this shoe is pretty ideal for that too. Also, perhaps if you're on your feet all day at work, the Ghost Max will be a good option to keep your feet nice and comfortable. So we've already talked about the plush heel collar. If we come back here to the heel counter, we do have this overlay coming around the back. We've got this, and we have an internal heel counter which keeps it very rigid, which, you know, it's a daily trainer. This is what we want. We don't want any heel slip, and I didn't experience it in my testing of this shoe. And all in all, it's a super nice step-in feel, a super nice ride. It's almost like putting your foot into a comfortable slipper, a slipper that you'd actually go running in. The upper on the Ghost Max it's a typical engineered mesh, nothing really to write home about. It's kind of stretchy, and I guess the best thing that I want to say about the upper on the Ghost Max is that it's not overly hot. It's actually fairly breathable, which I'm always a little surprised at when I find that in a daily trainer, but I didn't find my foot getting stiflingly hot here. As far as overlays go, there aren't too many. We've got the branding on the side just giving a little extra support. Got overlays coming along the eyelet chain just to give that support, and there's an underlay around the toe box just to keep that upper off the top of your toes. As far as fit goes, I found it fit true to size. And a benefit that I noticed, or a benefit that I've interpreted from my time wearing this shoe, is that if I hold it up, you can see that the laces, I think they're fairly close together. Or at least I didn't think they were close together until I saw them on some other people's feet where the laces were a lot wider apart. My interpretation of that is that the regular sizing of the Ghost Max will fit a wide range of feet. Now the Ghost Max is available in wide, but I think the regular size is also going to be very accommodating if your foot is slightly wider. My feet tend to run on the narrower side, and that is the reason for my laces being a little close together. But for me, the shoe is very accommodating, and I had no complaints with the fit of the upper. I had a good mid-foot lockdown. There seemed to be plenty of room in my toe box, and yet if I had wider feet, I think I'd have the same experience. The tongue on the Ghost Max is nice and thick. It's a typical daily trainer tongue. We have a loop right on the top if you need to pull that tongue up, and I'm not surprised to see that the tongue is not gusseted. However, there is a single lace loop right here in the middle of of the tongue. And although I like to see a gusseted tongue on all my running shoes, I didn't experience any tongue migration with the Ghost Max, so I really can't knock it for that. Now let's come down to the midsole. Now this hasn't changed from the Ghost 15. This is the same midsole material. It's Brooks's DNA Loft V2. What has changed though is the amount of midsole foam that you're getting, and this is because they've labeled it max. They've put max cushioning, 39, 33. And I found the DNA Loft V2 to be very accommodating. It feels good when I'm running easy. Okay, this is a daily trainer. This isn't going to be great for picking up the pace in, but you certainly could. Some people have asked me in the comments recently, like, could I run faster in X shoe? And I always say, of course you can. You could run fast in the Ghost Max. But in today's running market with a shoe that is fit specifically for every kind of run, Brooks Ghost Max fits squarely into the easy runs and recovery runs. Now I did run strides in the Ghost Max just because those came at the end of my easy runs and it felt great. But I have other options for running faster. In fact, if we're going to stay with Brooks, I think the Hyperion and the Hyperion Max are great options if you want to pick up the pace, if you're running intervals, if you're running tempo runs, those would be a better option. But for your bread and butter miles, the Ghost Max is going to be the ticket. Okay, midsole foam. It's not particularly responsive. Like, you're not going to be running this and feel like the shoe is pushing you forward, but it certainly doesn't hold you back, and the comfort is out of this world. And if we just talk about looks for a second, usually the Brooks Ghosts are pretty boring looking shoes, and I'm gonna hold up the 15 just so you can compare. And look, this is all personal preference, but the 15 just looks kind of boring. Like, it does the job, but it looks kind of boring. And although it's difficult to put my finger on what is actually better looking to me about the Ghost Max, I'm still gonna try it. And I think it's the styling of the midsole foam. I think the lines here just look a lot better. Obviously, for me at least, it's not obvious to you what my preferences are, but I do like the colorway of this Ghost Max better than the colorway of this Ghost 15, but that's a silly reason to prefer a shoe. But if you totally discount that I like the look of the Ghost Max better, I also like the ride of the Ghost Max better than the Ghost 15. Come down to the outsole, we got a lot of rubber coverage, which reminds me, the Ghost Max is going to last you a long time. We have a good amount of rubber here on the forefoot and on the heel. I have taken my Brooks Ghost shoes up to 400 miles and beyond. And from the volume that I've put on the Ghost Max, it's actually pretty surprising how little wear I have on the bottom. In fact, the rubber has like little micro lines etched into the outsole rubber, almost like a fingerprint. And I haven't even worn those down yet. Yeah, this shoe is going to last a long time. Something else to point out while we're looking at the bottom of the shoe is the width. Now, the Ghost Max is a neutral shoe, but it is a stable neutral shoe. And it doesn't have like specific stability elements other than it has a nice wide base, has a nice wide heel. And even though we've got 39 millimeters of stack height in the heel, it feels totally stable underfoot. Brooks is also including their new glide roll rocker geometry. And obviously that's going to include a lot of things from the toe spring, but also most noticeably is this midsole groove coming down here, which is going to make the shoe a little more flexible, and that glide roll rocker geometry is going to make a very smooth toe to heel transitions, and you can see me bending it. Now for a shoe with 33 millimeters of stack height in the forefoot, this thing is bending nicely, and you can feel that on the run. And just circling back to what I said in the beginning about the Ghost Max riding a little lighter than my Ghost 15, even though my Ghost 15 is 7 grams lighter than the Ghost Max, I think that's because of the glide roll geometry. The Ghost Max just feels smooth underfoot. It really is a nice ride when you're just going out and you want to take it easy. This is one that's going to treat your body right. Now at $150, I don't know, would I like to see it a little less? Yes, of course, but the Ghost 15 is $140, so I think the $10 premium for the Ghost Max is appropriate. I think if you are a fan of the Brooks Ghost line, if you have like got a new Brooks Ghost every year, and that's your shoe of choice, I'd recommend you try the Ghost Max just because I was pleasantly surprised with how good this shoe felt. But also, Brooks is going to keep the normal Ghost. So if you like the Ghost 15 and later on next year will be the 16, you're still going to have that 12 millimeter drop. But if you want to try something with a little lower drop, the Ghost Max definitely worth a look. And look, also, if you're looking for a daily trainer and you've been put off by that 12 millimeter drop, the Brooks Ghost Max is definitely one to take a look at now. So guys, I want to hear from you. Have you ever run in a Brooks Ghost? Are you interested in trying the Ghost Max? Also, what is your daily trainer of choice? I know that I have several shoes that I would probably compare to these, but I want to hear your thoughts first. Let me know in the comments what your favorite daily trainer is. And with that, it's Matt B. This has been my review of the Brooks Ghost Max. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you in a couple of days.